Welcome to the morning stretch and all the extra sound effects and extra work behind the scenes.
I feel like we've done this before.
Once in a while, we do it several times. In fact, I'm Tricia Sloma, along with Chief Meteorologist Matt Engelbrecht, and we have Kyrstyn Glover running all the buttons this morning.
Yes, I am.
You've had this day on your calendar for a long time because it's Earth Day, and you were so excited, Kyrstyn.
Yeah, I love Earth Day. It's very important, and not many people go out and celebrate it. Should be celebrating.
We should figure out a way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And what about the weather? It's a good day to do that.
It's great. You know, in the climate book, we are recording a lot of good data today, especially when it comes to, in terms of Earth Day, setting up to be warm, to be quiet, and we can concentrate on taking care of Mother Earth rather than having to avoid any kind of severe weather or flooding. And yeah, that is something that should be recorded each and every day.
Oh, I like that.
Good.
All right. But one really cool thing that we did today is we got to send one of our scientists out into the field. We welcome in today First Alert Meteorologist Alyssa Heilmann.
There it is.
Ooh.
All right.
Alyssa, you had so much fun today. Why don't you tell our fans where you have been?
Yeah, this morning I went out to Elkhart Environmental Center. I spoke with their environmental events coordinator. Her name was Annie Clayforth, I should say. She's just lovely. And we talked all about the Earth Day event that they have going on this weekend. Obviously, Kyrstyn talked about it today. Earth Day is today, and I share the same thoughts she does about Earth Day. I love Earth Day, and I think it should be celebrated more. But because it's midweek, they don't have events planned for today. Instead, most of them are on Saturday. So they have an event at the Elkhart Environmental Center on Saturday. It's from 10 to 1 p.m. and they have just all sorts of things planned for that day. They've got a tree giveaway, also got a plant exchange, and you can see some of that way. The plants behind me. Okay. The plants behind me there. Me and Matt have been growing those for a couple months now.
Wait.
Whoa.
Me and Matt have been growing those. Alyssa, this is the podcast, so you can tell us. So turn around, and those plants look great. And what you're insinuating was that was yours. Is that true?
Who has the green thumb?
What?
Well, it is mine,
Sure.
technically.
Oh. Yeah.
But I'm not so great with plants and growing and things like that.
But you've learned something.
Right, I just found that out. So my mom bought the plants for me when I started for my office, and they were dying very quickly. So Matt, being just wonderful, the lovely chief that he is, he
stole your plants?
He took them under his wing. He put them upstairs near a window, which I'm sure they probably needed because I have no windows in my office.
Yeah. Alyssa.
And now they're thriving.
Well, it's a learning curve.
I think it's hilarious. The first time you told me about this, you're like, yeah, I have a couple plants, but they're not doing too hot.
They're not. Okay.
There's no sunlight.
Yeah. I kind of forgot about this. So the spider plant that you see here, this isn't the original one. I had one and I killed it. And then Jack Van Meter, to bring in more First Alert Meteorologist, he saw that it was dead on the floor. And he was like, my mom has one. I'll bring it to you. So this is my second spider plant that I've been through, but this one's living.
Every one of those babies, all those offshoots, we can make into another plant. So we're going to be propagating plants from the weather office, the upstairs weather office for months to come. Back to the Elkhart Environmental Center. You got to interview her throughout the morning show. But one thing I thought was really clever is you did propagate one of your plants and you took it over there, didn't you?
I did, yeah. The one here, I think it's called a pothos?
Yes. I've also called them a philodendron. Yep.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, we all make that mistake.
We propagated it yesterday. Matt was not helpful in that process. He just watched me as I did my best to watch a YouTube video to learn how to propagate. And I took it this morning to the Elkhart Environmental Center. They're doing a plant exchange or a seed exchange. You can bring either up to 15 plants, and you can exchange all of them with other plants that people bring. They recommend native plants just because that's important, especially Earth Day, to really bring those native plants back into our ecosystems. But any plant works as long as it's not an invasive species, which we know sometimes can really wreak havoc on areas, especially where there's not a lot of native plants.
Well, and I think we have a soundbite from her right now, so listen in.
You can bring house plants, you can bring pretty much anything as long as it's not invasive. You can bring up to 15 plants, and you can exchange as many plants as you bring. So it's a great way to like freshen up your garden.
I love this. And house plants too, and that's what's really cool here.
Yeah.
Like you have all of those house plants behind you, and we could propagate from that. But just think about the exchange and what we're all sharing with each other on Earth Day or in the weeks to come.
Yeah. And they have so much more. They have booths, they have food vendors, they have a weed wrangle, which I love. I don't know if you guys have ever done a weed wrangle, but when I went to, you should try one. They're incredible. I went through a lot of science majors. I tried biology, environmental science, sustainability. So I took a lot of environmental classes, and some of them needed service hours. So I got all my service hours in weed wrangling. I would go up there at like 8 a.m. with a bunch of other people. We'd pull all the invasives at local parks, usually honeysuckle, because that seems to be one that's really abundant in Indiana. But it was a good experience. You know, I'm going to be honest, starting out when I knew I had to get service hours, I'm like, this is lame. It's not going to be fun. And then by the end of it, I was like, I want to keep doing this. This is enjoyable.
I love this so much.
And it goes right into your specialty. It's not growing plants, Alyssa. It's killing plants. And that is why weed wrangling is really right up your alley. No wonder you had so much fun and you're good at it.
I'm really good at tearing them out.
I think it's nice because you're down there and you're doing the work yourself, and you can actually see the progress that you're making and the good that you're doing for the environment right there.
You feel good about it.
Instant gratification.
Yeah, and you see that, like, because you obviously learn how to identify it, so you're not pulling the wrong thing, and you look around, you're like, this is everywhere. It's a big concern, and the problem with a lot of invasives is that people mostly bring them in from other areas because of aesthetic issues for gardening for their front yards. So that's how they get incorporated into local ecosystems when they shouldn't be.
Wow. Okay, fangirl moment, because you're really impressing me about all of what you've done with your science studies, but you probably maybe took a botany course or botany class, and if you've ever had a practical exam, did you have to walk around and identify plants and seeds?
So no, I started out my freshman year of college as a biology major. So in our biology lab, we had to do identifying trees mostly by their bark and their leaves. So that was the extent of like identifying. I never really got to go outside and do it. It was more so like tests of like, here's a bark, what kind is it? And to be honest with you, I think I lost a good amount of that information, but I'd like to gain it back. So
I love
maybe
that.
We'll go back on that.
I know, and I was College of Agriculture, so I had to take a lot of different courses, like the botany that I was mentioning, and that was the thing that killed me, is seed identification, plant identification. Those practicals are hard when you're going around and doing identification and so forth. And my sister was an agronomy major, and talk about mustard seed is tiny. I mean, you're looking at these tiny seeds, and
I'm sorry.
they really care.
Oh, what kind of major?
Agronomy.
Oh,
What is
Soil
that?
sciences.
soil sciences.
Oh.
I knew
Seed
that. I just want to make
science,
sure everybody
I
else.
should probably look up the exact agronomy.
the soils.
Agronomy.
So much.
Agronomy.
I can't even pronounce it.
Agronomy.
Let alone the plants on the back. I didn't know honeysuckle
Science and
was
technology
invasive.
to improve management of the world's major food crops. It's also known as agriculture, but come on. No. What is agronomy? Agronomy is the study of soil management and crop production. There you go.
Fascinating.
So she knows all about the soils. She can tell you clay, loam soils, sandy soils, those different soils, and they actually take you out to pits, and they can look at the soil structures and tell you what lines are what and what kind of soil and how that affects your plants. Because think about it, in agriculture, we're growing crops, trying to make it the most successful kind of crop. Well, what you would apply, the kind of fertilizers or whatever, is all in that soil makeup, and it's important to kind of study that. So fascinating stuff. That was way over my head. I went with communications, and I ended up in TV. So I just tell people to go to the experts.
Yeah. And then it includes at Elkhart coming up this weekend, they're going to have master gardeners volunteering. So if you do have questions, if you have a plant that you want to take and say, hey, do you know what this is? They'll probably be able to identify it.
Absolutely, yeah. She said they'll be they're available to help in any way people need, and even show you the trees that they're handing out, show you the proper way to plant them, which I think is important so people aren't just taking them home and maybe doing it incorrectly.
Oh, I love this so much. Well, thank you for sharing your expertise with us on the morning stretch. Alyssa. And hopefully we've gotten some people maybe interested in, getting their own green thumbs going.
I think so. I'm working on mine.
All right.
Was that dorky?
Hey.
We already have one of those. We already have one of those in the office. So
we needed the pot to manifest the survival of all of them.
That's right.
Alyssa,
that is why.
I think your next project should be that plant by the stairs.
Oh, that was bad.
Yes.
The snake
Wait, I
plant.
haven't seen it.
Oh, I'll show you.
It's also known as mother-in-law's tongue. Did you know that?
Oh, we gotta go.
We'll point that out.
That'll do it for
Matt and
today.
I will work on it.
We do have to go. Alyssa, thank you so much. We certainly hope everybody enjoys Earth Day all week long, Earth Week, right? Thanks for joining us on the morning stretch.
Bye.